good. It looks like we are live. Ramix, a good day for this show. I have a treat for the audience. I'm joined by Careena Campbell, who has the Wrenfairy Cosplay Book of Faces page. Welcome, Careena. How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. Let me make sure this is going out correctly here. I can see myself on the Book of Faces. If you want to say something, maybe it'll kick over to you. Hopefully it's
All
not.
right.
All right.
Testing, testing. Perfect. Okay.
Yes. Interesting. I thought it would stack us. Mayhaps mayhaps I can figure that out. But
This new magical technology is so confusing.
it is. Indeed it is. Well, I last had an electronic chat with you about 3 years ago, I believe,
Yeah,
and
it was a long time ago.
I believe after that point you had performed at the Queensferry Renfest pub sing and you're on stage at Tulsa's Celtic Rising. And
Yes.
what have you done at Ren Fairs since then?
Let's see. I haven't been on cast as much as I would like. I've definitely attended them a lot in college. But now that I am done with college and, back in the area, I'm planning to be back on cast. This is actually my new character for the Queensferry Renaissance Fair. Her name is Willow, and I'm a dryad. I will be hanging out in the children's realm along with my boyfriend, both in character and in sooth. He will be a fawn or a satyr, and we're going to be working together in the children's realm at Queensferry doing side quests and putting on shows and things like that. So I'm very excited because I love working with children and I love working at fairs. So I get to do both.
Huzzah, very good. So if I recall, the children's area is up at the top of the hill, about in the middle
Your
between.
memory would be better than mine. It's been a little while since I've been there. So I believe so.
Good. Let me see. All right, and it's usually oh goodness, she will kill me for not remembering her name. The lady with the bubbles. Does she not run that?
Yes. Is it Aces Faces?
Ace. Oh yes, Ace's Faces.
Yes. I believe this year, I'm not sure. We're still sorting it out, but we will definitely have bubbles, and it may be me doing bubbles this year. We will see.
Oh,
But regardless, y'all will get bubbles at Queensferry. I'm also possibly going to be doing some form of a story time or a puppet show in the children's realm. So definitely stay tuned on the Queensferry Face Book of Faces page for that because I'm sure that they'll be announcing more about different upcoming new shows and things like that.
nice. They have done a very good job the last few months about posting events that are going to happen at the festival this year. I'm liking it.
Yes.
And before we go much farther from them, they'll have an April date this year instead of March, April 18th and 19th for all the
Yes.
who want to make it there. I think that would be nice. So it should not be frigidly cold like it has been twice, and there should be shade on the trees.
That'll be so nice. I remember previously when I was at Queensferry, I was the Selkie character. And so I had planned as like a bit to maybe have hidden my coat somewhere around the fair and people could find it because of the whole Selkie thing of, losing your coat and you have to find it so you can go back to the sea. But it was
Oh.
so cold that day. I had to have my coat because when I was there a few years ago, it was like 30 degrees and I had no gloves. I had, a few layers on, but no like proper wool coat like some of the character types have. And so I just kept going from like the Vikings fire to one of the vendors' fires to I think there was a fire by the pirates. I just kept hopping between fires and being like, "Hello, it's me again. Can I use your fire for like 5 minutes? Because my fingers are gonna fall off." So,
I'm sure you're not the only one visiting people that had the heaters in their tents and the fires.
oh yes, for sure.
People kept inviting me to go into their tent with the heaters, but I was trying to manage my own tent and stay out of the wind and but
Yeah, I
it
remember you
happened.
had hot hands warmers for everybody that year, and I remember being very grateful for that.
You're welcome. If anyone needs hand warmers in the early festival this year or late, maybe towards late fall, you can find those at academies and mayhaps Dick's Sporting Goods, mayhaps even Walmart. You can catch them
Yes.
at that time. And Bass Pro Shop if you live in the Tulsa metro or Springfield area. Well, have you attended any new Renfest since I chatted with you? Maybe you've been to KCRF and the Feast of the Goblin King?
Yes, I went to the Feast of the Goblin King. I went to, I believe they've changed their name, but the fair in Missouri that was previously known as Dragon Fest that was also in that area. I've been to that one. I've been to Muskogee and Norman. Obviously Muskogee and Kansas City are staples of any Ren Fair season in the Midwest. The event that I actually look forward to the most every year is the Masquerade Ball in at the Castle of Muskogee.
Mm.
And they've been doing it since the masquerade balls have become a very big thing thanks to the increasing popularity of like book talk and the Fey courts concept. And I think Muskogee started theirs kind of before it got super big. And what I like about Muskogee's fair, among other things, is that unless they change it this year, their ball is really the only one that's, like, priced about the same for, a short event as you'd expect to pay for a day ticket to the fair, which for someone like me who's been in college and, really scraping by, trying to pay for tuition and stuff, that was a really big deal because, it's a lot easier to go to a special event like a ball if it's, $30 a ticket versus a lot of the balls have been closer to 50 to $60 per person for different events. And so it was really nice that theirs was more affordable. And also just it was really cool because it was Muskogee to like see a lot of the characters that you've seen out on the street at Muskogee and the familiar faces and really what I've loved. And I'm sure they do this at other balls too, but at the Muskogee ball they teach you all these dances while you're there, like the
Oh.
Karabushka. I'm gonna get it mixed up with the Victorian dances that I've been to, but they teach you all these different types of dances, and it's the beginning of every dance, they guide you through it, and you do practice round, and then you do it with music. So even if you've never done it before, or you're like me, and even though you've been there, 4 years in a row, you forget it every single time. That's okay because they take your hand and they teach you through, and there's also always people there who have done it before and will kind of help you if you're like 3 steps behind where you need to be at.
Hmm.
And so it's just a lot of fun. I think that's the event that maybe I don't know that I'd been there yet for the first time the last time we talked over, your podcast, but yeah, that's become the event that I look forward to the most. I think I have made a new costume for that or worn a new costume for that multiple times because it's just so much fun to get to go to a ball.
Are they patient with people who have not danced in 30 years or have two left
Oh,
feet?
yes, very patient. There's always people of all ages there, all skill types. There's even occasionally a couple children, which is always very sweet to see. And yeah, it's just a wonderful, very inclusive and lovely time.
I see. Does it start right at the close of normal gate, like 6 p.m.
I
and
want to say it starts at 6 or 7, yes, and it's usually a romance weekend, I believe, because Muskogee does the themed weekends. So I want to say it's like the first or second weekend of Muskogee Fair is usually when they have their ball.
do you remember about how long it lasts? 2 or 3
I wanna
hours?
say it goes till 9. Yeah, I think they do each dance twice
I
with a
see.
brief break in between, so
Very good. So all you love buds out there want to do something new and exciting for your partner. Perhaps it would
yes.
be the
And
thing.
you don't have to go to with a partner either. There are lots of people that go as a group or just themselves. I think I've been with somebody every year I've gone, but it hasn't necessarily been a partner. I've gone with my brother, I've gone with my father, of course, I've gone with my boyfriend before, but it's fun to just get a group of friends and go dancing. A lot of the dances are partner dances, but a lot of them are dances where you just find a partner, and if you don't have one, people raise their hand and you go find somebody with their hand raised, and that's your partner.
Oh,
So,
nice.
even if you don't have a partner in your life, you can definitely still participate.
Nice. So perhaps cheap dancing lessons as well.
Exactly, exactly. It's such great dancing lessons and a good workout.
Oh, good to know. Good to know. Do not wear too much garb or carry a bow on your back.
I say that you say that, but last year my boyfriend and I went as Jareth and Sarah from Labyrinth, and so he was in a full velvet coat, and I was in multiple layers of ball gown, and June and Dulce and Muskogee. But would definitely recommend fewer layers than that. But it can be done if you want to badly enough.
Very good. Perhaps I could look into that this year. That would be interesting. I think I did my first dancing. Well, I did a little jig a couple of years ago in Muskogee, but at Rentopia in end of October. I did some dancing with the I did a SPQR for Fugly and to the tune YMCA, and then later that day the Fortress Drillers were playing, and so I get on and did the big dance where they had the big crowd join in with a bow strapped on my back and a cape on and a cape on. So next time I hope I'm not quite so garbed to jump around.
Yes. I definitely would not wear willow to a ball because you can't see it, but I have leaves just all the way down. And frankly, probably need to remove some of them because if I'm getting up and down to talk to children, I may want to not be worrying about tripping on this. But
Oh,
even if I make it shorter, like this is not ideal dancing garb for sure.
I see. Is it like a train for a bride?
It
Dragging
is. The idea was, that since I'm a dryad, which I'm supposed to basically be, a tree, I've taken everyone's least favorite part in a school play and made it my character, I guess. But I want to look like a tree, but I decided I didn't want to wear a wig that looked like leaves, so I decided to make a veil. The tricky part is figuring out how to keep it on my head because it's very heavy. So
the
it may have to be a little bit more like a short veil versus an actual, willow tree where it would cover, the whole trunk of the tree. Anyway, yeah, I have
oh,
some tweaking to do, but, engineering,
I
physics,
see.
yay.
Mayhaps, have you ever heard of a tennis player named Andre Agassi?
I don't think I have. I'm not familiar with tennis.
Okay. He was really popular late 80s, early 90s, early 2000s, and he had a biography that he wrote about himself. And he lost a match at Wimbledon, which is one of the big four tournaments,
Mhm.
because no one knew it, but he was balding at the time, and he was only like 26, and he had a mullet. And so he had hairpins trying to keep that wig on of a mullet because his hair was getting so
Oh.
short. I wonder if that might help you with
Yes,
hairpins.
that's actually what I've done is it's so I've actually I know those of you who are just listening on the podcast platforms can't see, but what I've done is I've taken my hair and put it into a crown braid like would be done under historical hoods and veils, and I've pinned my leaf veil to that and then just stuck a
Oh,
flower crown over it so you can't see
ah.
the pins. And that's how I have it kept on. But who knows how well it'll stay on for all day at fair. So I'm definitely going to be wearing it around the house a bit before I, am certain that it is fair proof.
Very clever. Very clever. So, let me see. Norman and Kate and the Oklahoma Renaissance Festival. Do you collect programs or coins of the realm or other souvenirs whenever you go to a Renfest?
I do trinket trade whenever I go to Renfests. So if any of you ever see me, I'm most likely open to trinket trade. For Willow, whoops, I just bumped my camera. For Willow, I've actually been working on making these acorn necklaces. And one of my bits as Willow is that I'm going to be giving out kindness quests. Grow kindness is going to be kind of her catchphrase because she's a tree and she wants you to grow kindness. But inside each of the acorns that I've drilled out and made in necklaces, there's going to be a little piece of paper with a prompt like call a friend you haven't talked to in several months, or compliment a stranger on their outfit, or things like that, just to help spread positivity and kindness around the fair. And if you would like to trade a trinket for one of these as well, I would totally be down for that. I have a treasure chest on my treasure shelf that is full of just all the trinkets that I have received from trinket trading over the years at the Renaissance Fair.
That is very nice. I like that. Passing on kindness. That is nice. The whole world could use a little more kindness at all
Oh,
times.
yes.
Very nice. Well, you have a Book of Faces page called Wrenfairy Cosplay, correct?
Yes, I do.
And is it also on Instagram?
Yes, I have Instagram, I have the Book of Faces, and I have YouTube. I don't have the clock app. I just have never I've always been too scared to get into that. I'm like, I lose enough time on Instagram and YouTube and the Book of Faces already. I don't need a fourth one. But
I
yes, you can find
understand.
me on those three.
Oh, nice. Do you find a different kind of crowd between the Book of Faces and the
Oh, yes.
Instagram?
Oh, yes, definitely. Not as much between Book of Faces and Instagram as much as YouTube, but I've definitely found that like certain types of my cosplays do better on Facebook since there's kind of different age demographics. Whenever I posted pictures of my Labyrinth cosplays, they got very popular on Facebook. And I think it was because a lot of the people who are closer to that generation tend to be more on Facebook. And so they saw it more on that platform versus on Instagram. That being said, though, it's hard to tell because even though sometimes it seems like things do better on Facebook than on Instagram, the Book of Faces and Instagram have also started like sharing some of their statistics. So you never know
Hmm.
because you can't tell which one's which. But I have definitely noticed that some of my cosplays tend to be recognized more on one than the other, depending on the demographics and my following on each one. It's just kind of funky to look at.
You mean more seasoned people on the Book of Faces and younger people on Instagram?
Exactly, exactly. That's how it tends to be. That's just how it is.
I understand. Where do you think about the age break is? It's about 30, the age of 30 in between.
I'd say about 30 tends to be the age break there. There's definitely exceptions for sure. I tend to kind of follow and interact with the a little bit older side of that age bracket on Instagram since I'm in my almost mid 20s at this point myself. Not as much of the, young teenage, 18-year-olds, that I tend to get to know just because, I'm kind of in a completely different time of my life than that.
Uh,
But yeah, I have noticed definitely it's kind of like about 30 where it kind of breaks off and it's so curious. That being said though, there's still exceptions. Like I've met, people who are my age on Facebook and I have some cosplayers that I've connected with on Instagram that are, 50 plus years old. So you just never know who you're going to meet where. You just got to kind of keep your heart open on all of the different things.
I understand. I have mayhaps 4 posts on Instagram from my Meister's realm. I need to put some more out there so some younger people can then just find out more about the Renaissance fairs and my podcast.
For sure.
I will work on that this winter and spring. So what kind of things do you post about on Wrenfairy Cosplay and Instagram?
Mostly, I post about my professional princess events because that's the type of event I tend to have the most photography from. On the weekends, I work for a company called Character Connection Co. And I basically get paid to dress up as a princess and entertain children at birthday parties. It's not that simple. There's a lot of like character study and impersonation work and vocal work that goes into it, but it's still just really just having fun at the end of the day, so I definitely enjoy doing that. I do post videos and pictures of my own cosplays as well, I just have not had as much time since I've been working full time more over the past few months. I'm kind of in between jobs at the moment, but I'll be working full time again in February. And so I haven't had as much time to make my own cosplays, which is why it's been nice to be able to do my job where I can still, enjoy dressing up and things like that. But whenever I do have pictures of new ones, I definitely share them there as well because I like being like, hey, maybe you'll find inspiration from this project that I made for your own projects.
Oh, nice. And what was the name of the princess? What was the name of the group again?
Oh, the group's called Character Connection Co. I also use my own cosplays and do charity work that's kind of a similar kind of thing for Real Oki superheroes. But those are my costumes that I've made for that. Actually went to an event this morning, or I guess it was this afternoon. We visited St. Francis Children's Hospital here in Tulsa,
Mm.
and we go to the different floors of the pediatric area and just say hi to the kids, give them gifts. A lot of times there's several of us, and it's kind of fun because like each child that you visit will have a different character that they're most excited to see. So maybe one of the kids is super excited to see Deadpool, and one of the other kids is super excited to see maybe Ariel. And that's really fun. Whenever you are as kind of obsessed with costumes as a lot of us Rennies tend to be, it's very fun to have something that you can pull out some of your costumes for and then take them somewhere and just make people smile. It's so nice to have that, and that's what Realty Superheroes really has become for me.
That is very nice. It takes a special kind of person to go and talk to a sick child or a sick person and be able to just help them break away from what they are going through and focus on something good. That is good. I like that. Since you do impersonations of different types of characters, did you study theater when you were in school?
I did. I actually originally had planned to be a double major until my school unfortunately kind of had to drop their theater program. Just it was a very small school and there just wasn't the resources for a bachelor's of theater program. But I definitely did take a couple of classes in college. But frankly, what's been more helpful for me, even than the few classes that I had, is just practice. Practice and watching other performers do the same thing. I am very blessed that in my character company that I'm part of, we very much have a culture of like helping each other. It's not competition. We aren't threatened by giving tips to help each other become better because we know that we are still just as competent in our own rights. There's not like a sense of, oh, well, if I help each other, then I'll get less, opportunities to perform because then we'll all be better. It's actually, no, we'll probably get more opportunities total because we'll all be better and therefore all be producing something that more people want. And so I have been very blessed to learn from some very talented, very experienced performers on especially things like vocals, because one of the challenging things about doing princess parties is that each character has a very specific voice. And the difference between you coming across as just a person in a costume versus you actually being the princess is sometimes just your vocal inflections and how you talk. And so that's been a really fun thing to get to learn. And I've had some wonderful people that have really come alongside me and helped me learn that because they have so much experience with that.
Oh, nice. And I'm sure if you stick with this for a long time, you will be able to pass it on to others as they start out
That is my hope for sure.
to become the mentor instead of the mentee. That is nice. Well, at this time, how many different costumes do you think you have?
Oh, gee, it's funny you should say that because I'm actually about to go through my costumes and I think it's time for me to cut back on some because I have run out of room. And I'm probably going to be getting married here in a couple years and,
Oh,
moving out into an even smaller place. So I really need to like cut back on how much stuff I have lying around. But let me think. Let's see. I have, just for princessing, I have a couple different versions of Elsa. I have two different versions of Ariel. I have my labyrinth. I have a variety of Ren Fair pieces. I've got ones I'm still working on. If you've seen Treasure Planet, which is a pretty obscure Disney movie, but if you've seen that, I'm making a costume from that. Gee, I don't even know how many Renaissance Fair outfits I have. One, two, just the pieces. Because the thing with Renaissance Fair outfits is that you don't really necessarily just have like individual outfits. For me, I have like a variety of different pieces that I can combine into like a multiple of different outfits.
nice.
And so I have at least a dozen pieces for things like that. Some of which I'm actually probably going to be selling because, they were things I made when I was first learning how to fit things. And so they never fit very well. And maybe there'd be somebody that could use them better than me. But yeah, I probably have, I'm guessing if you count accessories and pieces that are for family members or, other people that I've worked with that I've made, I probably have at least 200 costume pieces. But that's including things like a pair of gloves,
Ah,
or
that's
earrings that I made to go with a dress. That's not definitely not all like skirts and tops. As far as those types of things, I have maybe like between 50 and 100, which is still a lot, but they don't take up as much space, most of them, as, if I had, 200 plus of that many things. I've also been doing this since I want to say I started in like 2018.
uh,
So when you've been doing it for that long, you kind of start to just collect, and all the different projects that you've made over time take up a lot of space. And so it's always a game of, okay, I got new fabric. What am I going to get rid of in my stash so I have room for this in my stash?
And you've saved tons of money by making them yourself instead of buying them off of the internet or
Yes.
within Sucket.
Exactly. And also too, it's not just about saving money, it's that many times for me, what I'm wanting doesn't necessarily exist pre-made unless I wanted to commission a certain piece, which would, again, to your point, be exceedingly expensive. And so it allows me to have where every costume I make, even though they inevitably don't turn out exactly how I had it in my head, they're built how I want them versus just the way that they would come pre-made. For example, the character that I'm working on now, that's like a captain, she's from a Disney movie, so her outfit was obviously not historically accurate in any sense of the word. But my version that I'm doing is actually based on, this is another very niche thing, but I'm actually combining a character from Treasure Planet and the military jacket that Captain Wentworth wears in, I think it's the 90s BBC Persuasion by Jane
Hmm.
Austen. So doing my own costumes allows me to do insane combinations of things like that, while also saving money to your point. Because, most of us don't have $500 plus that we can go drop on, a high quality pre-made cosplay. And so it's also just more rewarding, I think, to make something yourself and wear it. You just have to also get through the frustration of making it and knowing that it's not going to be perfect because you're not perfect. You're not a machine.
That is all right on the combination of two different genres like you were doing. I'm from watching the behind the scenes from the Lord of the Rings or Timeline or other movies.
Hmm.
I know that their fashion designers they do the same thing because some of the old stuff is kind of boring or uniform. You have
Yeah,
to flare it up a little bit for the movies and TV shows.
exactly. I think that's one of the joys of costume design is that you can pick and choose your favorite aspects of different things, and that's one of the beautiful things about Ren Fair garb is, you know, let's be honest, most of us are not going for full historical accuracy in a Renaissance fair costume. I have leaves coming off of my head right now as we speak. Most of us are picking and choosing our favorite aspects from many different time periods for our outfits based on what is prettiest or coolest looking to us. And I think that that's one of the really fun things about the Renaissance Fair compared to maybe, a historical reenactment is that you have more freedom to just look however out of historical period you want or be as fully historic as you'd like. It's really just up to you.
Hi, there's good way to show off some of our own personality as well.
Exactly. You can tell a lot about a person by not only what their outfit is, but how the pieces are assembled whenever you meet somebody at the Renaissance Fair.
Hmm. I'm not very observant on that kind of thing, so I will have to start looking and see. Oh, okay, very good. I can see this movie's influence mayhaps, or from this story, or this book, or this piece of history. That will give me something new to do at the fairs that I've been to 20 or 80 times. Look for something new. Well, Karina, when I'm updating my website or working on my podcast, I like to listen to Celtic music. And when
Mm,
you
yes.
are when you're creating a costume, do you like to listen to period music or turn on the movie or TV show that your character's in for inspiration or guidelines for how to make the outfit?
I wish I could say that I do. Um, I really don't usually.
Oh,
I'm more of a like true crime podcast in the background kind of girl.
oh boy.
So, I tend to do one of three things. I listen to my music playlist on Spotify. I listen to true crime, or I watch Labyrinth 1986 with David Bowie. Those are my three things I have on when I'm sewing.
You really love Latin.
I love Labyrinth. Like it is such a fun movie.
I think I saw a part of it in probably 1987 when it came out on HBO.
Mm.
One time. I've not seen all of it. I like the part where David Bowie walked on the bottom of a wall and came up over the top. I do
Yes.
not know how they did that. Must have been a wires back then, but that was very neat to see.
Yeah, I've always wondered how they did that. I'm on the hunt for finding like whichever version of the DVD has the most bonus features so I can try to figure out some things like that.
Ah, there was you may not have heard of this singer either named Lionel Richie back in the 80s. He did a song called Dancing on the Ceiling. In the video, they zoomed in, they built a little room where they could rotate a whole room, and he just kind of walked around the room.
Wow.
Mayhaps it was something like that, but I think went up a lot faster than what Lionel Richie did as they were rotating the room.
Yeah, I don't know. I know he had a stunt double for the movie, so it could have also been somebody doing that. I wonder if it was like a Michael Jackson thing where like they had the boots like nailed to the floor and he just used pure core strength to just pull himself from like laying flat to just standing up. That would have been impressive, but I have no idea.
Mayhaps so. Reminds me of Dick Van Dyke pulled himself up out of a corner in some old movie where he was a clown
Mhm.
or doll or something. He just kind of, I do not know if they had strings for that or if he had used coral strings, but that was going way back, way back. That must have been a movie from the 50s or 60s I saw much later.
Yeah, I have started kind of dabbling in movies that are a lot older. I watched The Court Jester with Angela Lansbury the other day. That was an older movie, but that was a really funny movie.
Is it set in the medieval or Renaissance times?
Yes, I believe it's well, it's a fantasy movie from the 50s, so they take a lot of liberty. I
Hmm.
think it's supposed to be like the 1400s, but it's also very hard to tell because, it's a movie. But it is definitely very fun if you enjoy those old comedy type movies.
Oh, I'll have to look that one up. I
I'm
only
pretty sure it's free with ads on YouTube.
I will very much look at that. Good. I'm always looking for movies to get me into the fair mood, and I've seen Monty Python a million times and A Knight's Tale a million times, and so I'm looking for something new, especially this time of year to keep me enthused. And let me see. So, if you have any other movies like that, if you want to type them in, older movies.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, that's kind of the one I started with. I don't have any other like medieval ones that I've really come across and watched yet. I have a few that are on my list to be watched, but I haven't seen them yet, so I can't say if they're good or not.
Ah,
But
last year I watched a Bing Crosby movie, Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. And
that
that's
sounds
back in
funny.
the 50s. It had some humor in it, especially for back in that time. And
Hmm.
a little bit of singing since it was Bing Crosby. I believe that was on YouTube, so that was decent and brand new to me. So if you think of any others, if you want to go ahead and type them on the Facebook comments, perhaps I
Of
can check
course,
them
yes.
out. Well, Careena, where might people be able to find you in the year of our Lord 2026?
Yes. So as I mentioned, you can just search Wrenfairy Cosplay on YouTube, on Instagram, and on the Book of Faces. You can also sometimes see me in pictures that are posted by my princess company that I work for, Character Connection Co. But you can also find me at the Queensferry Renaissance Fair this year as Willow in the children's realm. So make sure you guys all come out for that because I'm very excited to show off my new character bits that I'm going to be working on. So for sure, come out and see me and all my other friends at Queensferry because this is my first year back in a while and I'm very excited to be back.
Huzzah! They will be blessed to have
Huzzah.
you in the cast once again.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I guess you will be at Muskogee, at least for the masquerade ball.
I'm sure I will.
I see.
If you see, last year we were Jareth and Sarah. I believe this year we're gonna be Link and Zelda.
Link. Okay, those I would know for sure. But
Yes.
I cannot escape Lincoln Silva in my older
Yeah, they're
state.
very popular at the fairs.
Ah, good. I think one time someone asked me if I was Link when I was dressed up as an archer. I was like, that is a new one. Better than Peter Pan. I do not like that one.
You
But
know.
probably just opened myself up there for some comments this spring.
Oh boy.
So Malcolm, I do not want to hear that. All right. And what would you like to add that I did not cover, Careena?
Gee. I don't know. I guess just that I would encourage everyone, if you enjoy character performing in costumes, to find opportunities in your community to do it. Charity events and fundraisers and things like that. We can always use more kindness and encouragement in our community and making people smile. Um, Heck, bring your pirate costume to Walmart. It won't be the weirdest thing that people at Walmart have ever seen. And you might make some people smile. So I think that's what I would leave everybody with is, use your hobbies and your talents to spread joy and, shine a light and be a light for things that you care about. For me, I'm a Christian, so I definitely find a lot of joy in that. For me, being a light to others is also a way that I reflect the light that Christ has given to me through my faith in that. So, yeah, find ways to connect what you do for fun to what you believe in and spreading that with the people around you for a positive effect on the community. But yeah.
Amen. I like that. Very good. As much we are to spread, yes, shine the light, reflect the light on the world, like the moon reflects the sun's light on the world.
Exactly.
All right. Very good. Well, thank you for joining me.
Thank
I
you for having me.
You're quite welcome. Hopefully, I can get both you and Teresa Pershaw Squirrel on at the same time, and you two can educate people about how to build a costume, how to come up with an idea.
Yes.
So we will have to wait for her to be able to have some time, and you, if you're going to start work again, we will find the time.
Yes, that sounds lovely. Well, I look forward to it.
Gramercy, thank you so much. And thank you everyone for tuning in. And hopefully you can tune in to more podcasts, both video and I will put them on YouTube and the Renfest Info and Fun podcast. And now I have to figure out how to stop this on two platforms because it's the last time I've done this. So I hope you have a great weekend and I hope to see
Thank
you. Will
you.
you be at any fairs before Queensferry this spring and in and around the
We shall see. We shall see. I have not made up my mind yet, but perhaps. If
All
not,
right.
definitely Queensferry.
All right, very good. Perhaps I will see you one of those as well.
All right. Well, have a
Great.
wonderful evening. Huzzah!
Thank you. Huzzah, you as well.